Hi everybody, Jody here, known as the Caffeinated Crafter. This is my weekly dedication to trying to tackle my ongoing projects drawer. And unfortunately, as you can see, it has gotten a little higher because of course I had to buy more stamps because, being a stamper, I never have enough stamps. But today what I'm going to be showing you is actually how I organize my ink pads. I got a few new ones from Ranger Ink. They're the Wendy Vecchi line. I plan on getting more, but these are the latest two that I've gotten. And I'm going to show you how I organize them. Stay tuned. Okay, so to get started, this is how I organize my ink pads. Now, keeping in mind, this was not an overnight process. It kind of happened gradually because as a stamper, and I'm sure you stampers out there can relate, along with scrapbookers, I have a lot of inks, and if I were to try to tackle it all in one sitting, I would have gone insane. There's no amount of coffee in the world that could have made this happen in one night. Keep that in mind. A couple of tools that I wanted to use, and the reason actually I did this was because, as you know, a lot of times the color, Ranger's pretty good at it, but some companies, the color that they put on the lid of the ink pad varies quite a bit from how it actually stamps on paper. Now, and of course, as you know, different papers will give you different results, but this is pretty much a basic cardstock, so I'm pretty confident that this is true to color and this is what I'm going to be getting. So a couple of things I used. Marking tags. The reason I chose this size, which is the 1 3/4 by 1 3/32, they have bigger, they have smaller. I didn't want it too big because then it would have just gotten too cumbersome. I didn't want it too small because I wanted enough of an area so I could get an inkling of what it looked like. This obviously came with string, took that out, and the hole was too small, so I took a hole punch and punched my own hole because I have to get a book ring, which is how I put these on, through it, and the other hole was just too small. Okay, so then all I do is I ink up my stamp with the ink that I in question, and I stamp it onto the tag. Now, also too, obviously between each, if you're doing like a couple of ink pads at a time, unfortunately there's no way around this. You have to clean it and clean it well between each inking because obviously you're using different colors, so there could be some cross-contamination and you won't get a true representation of what the color will look like. If you stamped blue before this and then I didn't clean it and then stamped this green, I would have gotten some kind of weird color. So you've got to clean it and clean it well in between each tag. Next, because I flip through it all the time and it gets a lot of use, I actually reinforced it with the clear reinforcement labels. The reason I used clear is because it wouldn't cover up any surface of the tag. Pretty simple. And then the final step is on the back. I actually just use Microsoft Word, use my computer. I put the name of the ink, the type of ink that it is, like whether it's dye, whether it's pigment, this one happened to be StazOn, and who the manufacturer is, Sukaniko. And that's how I label all of them. Like I said, this is just a quick little introduction, and this is how I organize all of my ink pads. This works for me because when I'm going to do projects, I tend to look for color rather than, oh, I have to find all my distressed inks or I have to find all my StazOn inks. No, I go by, I need a certain pink, I need a certain blue, etc., etc. So I hope this gives you some inspiration and some ideas, and if you have any questions, just fire me off an email. Hope everyone has a great day and happy crafting.